Hi everyone, Maurice here. Welcome to Things Invest, where we're going to talk about investing, finance, and professional development. For today's video, it's for entertainment purposes only. And happy Saturday, by the way. The investments we're going to talk about today would be Cardano, and also ticker ADA. As you know, across the board for the cryptocurrencies market, it's been experiencing, sort of a sell-off recently, right? With Bitcoin down to about close to about 25 to 30% in the recent time period, and for Ethereum down to close to about 45% at one point, and now it's kind of hovering around like the $2,400, $2,300 level. And with respect to my videos that I've posted a couple of days ago, I've been getting some questions around Cardano, which I haven't covered so far. So I'm gonna spend some time today to look into the technical analysis. Where to see the price point for Cardano or ADA going from here, with respect to some of the macroeconomic trends and some of the human psychology behind the charts going forward so far. And as of today, I see that it's down about 5%, and just this week so far it's been down that by about, just look at the chart here, about 33% so far. So I'm gonna go through this to see where the level of resistance that we should be buying at, what are the price points that we should be looking out for, and my price target for year-end 2021 as well. So stay tuned, stick around, let's make some money. All right, so moving on to the technical analysis for Cardano, aka ADA as well. As you know, I've been getting some requests from some of my viewers recently, so I definitely want to get onto this, knowing that we have sold off quite significantly right now, and as of today, we're down by, I think at one point about like 5%, and currently we're seeing it down by like 2.21%. However, on a weekly basis, we've been down, close to about 33, 35% so far. So I want to take a look at how we're trending so far with respect to some of the psychology. And just look at the chart right now, you can see that ever since last year, around like the Q4 area, we're hovering around like the 10 cents, 15 cents, 20 cents dollars level. And subsequent to that, we got some positive media affectation with respect to the adoptions and also the utilization on a global perspective, which subsequently drove some media coverage and also correlates with the increase in demand for the purchasing of Cardano, which subsequently drove up. You can see that the volume that we've had here are pretty, minimal in comparisons to like the later time of the year, right, in February, which you could see that majorly driven by, corporations buying. You see these like major green candles, but historically it was mostly just retail investors buying in, accumulating on more of an upward trend, which you can see that it's more of like an upward escalator motion. So forming like newer higher lows on each level, which subsequently creates like a staircase motion. So that was definitely a great bullish sign of the signal ahead of the pump that we have had. And ever since then, we got this like big corporation that bought in, and then immediately some retail investors sold. Obviously, because it was like a pretty drastic pump from like what the 71 cents all the way to the $1 mark, almost like about like the $92 mark, and ever since then kind of consolidate, and then another corporation have pumped in. So that was two whales that manipulated the market at that moment, or they saw something coming, and that was a pretty big purchase at that moment. And I'm talking about like in billions, or like at least 500 million in that volume right there. And subsequent to that, bounced down because of the both a combination of the 80% institutional selling and also with respect to some retail investors selling as well. And ever since then, pumped up. And then we've been kind of consolidated sideways, right, on the historically from the duration of February 21st all the way to the May 5th, which subsequently was a couple days before the SNL show that Elon Musk debuted. And then because of the Dogecoin pump and because of the, just across the board for the Bitcoin pump as well, and on top of the Coinbase IPO that happened around that time period, and knowing the fact that Cardano is, prominently displayed on, in market, and also with respect to the media coverage that has had so far, it's pretty, it creates a strong market presence around the consensus of public investors. We subsequently, and on top of that, because of the price sensitivity level, is about like $1.50, right? So in terms of like the affordability, it's a lot more affordable compared to like Ethereum, right, which is about like $2,000 level. And obviously, in comparisons to the massive price point that Bitcoin is demanding, right? So Cardano serves as like a third solution, or like the fourth solution in terms of the ranking for the purchasing appetite among public investors, which subsequently drove up this huge volume that you see here, right? And this is a combination of both corporations and also institutional investors. You could see that you see that there was a one big whale that bought in, then that was like at least $1 billion in value, and subsequently with a lot of investors also bought in, and you could see that the balloon basically popped around recent time, and you could see that it pumped despite the show that happened on the 7th, on the 8th, apologies, and you could see that it's just been pumping up and away. With some minimal consolidation, and because of the sell-off from Bitcoin and the Ethereum, it drove this massive sell-off, and this was triggered by the algo system with respect to the computer system, and also subsequent to that, a massive red candle which drove a massive sell-off, and this was a combination of both, and I would say the combination is pretty one-sided, with 75% of corporations or large investors and like about like 20% of retail investors. And once it got down here, and I think the crash was so severe that it went down all the way to like close to the 90 something cents level, and it quickly got bought up. That's why the level of the how thick is the bar is so small, because of how quickly it got bought up. It was a very minimal flash crash which happened across the crypto market and subsequently got bought up and immediately create this green candle here, which makes sense because of the consolidation level that we've had. However, the consolidation you could see here, it was only durating from like the May 21st all the way to the, sorry, not May 21st, from May 5th to May 13th. So it was about like a week of consolidation. And with respect to this consolidation, on top of the euphoric pump that we've had, it didn't really drive any consolidated foundation for the supply and demand dynamics, which subsequently drove off another sell-off. Which subsequently you can see that the red candle has formed, right? You could see that we hit back down all the way to the $1.31 mark, which makes sense if you look at on the consolidated fashion. The yellow line that I drew here, somewhere around the $130 line, $1.30 line, sorry, I keep saying $130, is a fair number for us to look in. But if you look at the consolidation level, the level was relatively weak in comparison. You could see we have some formations here. We have like a one formation here. However, the true test to the water level is really at the $1.26 level, which I drew here. You could see that the bottom was formed here once before the big pump up on May 5th. You could see that the red candle that corresponds with this, so that's another foundation. So we have one foundation, two foundations. We have another foundation, four foundations, five foundations. So I actually see Cardano or ADA to be coming down furthermore in the near future, because of the fact that this level of resistance that we have had was relatively weak because of the lack thereof foundations that we've formed historically. So I think the likelihood of us getting back down to the $1.25 would be, I would give this like a 50-50 chance of getting there. With respect to like getting to this first level of resistance, which is $1.46, which is the 1, 2, 3, 4 times of resistance was formed already. So this, I would give this like a first level of like dollar cost averaging, in terms of like just like putting maybe 15% of your cash balance into it, and then subsequently further go down to $1.25, your dollar cost average, and you can see that on the third resistance level here, which is basically the bottom of consolidations that we have had formed historically. We have formed out once with this flash crash, twice with respect to this kind of just like sideways trend consolidation that will form in a long duration of time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. That will get there. That will be just a great price point for you just to load up, because for us to break through that wall, it will be pretty difficult because it goes through one wall which we have formed right here at the $1.79, $1.80 level, and then the second wall $1.47, and then third wall $1.25, and then to this fourth wall, $1.03 right here. For us to go back down here, if we ever break this four walls, it will require a major black swan event, or something extremely negative, extremely exogenous, like banning Cardano altogether, or no more utilization, or the assets itself completely get shut down for us to get back down there. And for us to get down there, I think the likelihood of that would be like 5%, or probably even less than that, 2.5% for us to get down there. And the drop would be really steep if we were to break this level of $1.03. The drop will be so severe that we will go down all the way here. You can see there's a gap here that needs to be formed that we've never formed or tested. The level will go down all the way back to the 45 cents level, which is basically the rock bottom for this cryptocurrencies ocean, if you may. Again, unlikely, but possible if there was a complete ban or utilization for Cardano going forward. All right, so just to recap on all the numbers that we talked about today, with respect to Cardano, I do foresee more of a little bit of a sell-off coming up, to get back down to more of a substantial foundation level at the $1.45 level, which will be the first level of resistance when we should dollar cost average. And then I think we might consolidate it from the $1.45 level, the $1.50 level, and we should see a little bit more of a sell-off to the $1.25 level, which I find that to be very attractive if we were to get down there. And if we break that, the next level is going to be a straight fall down to $1, right? Which, if we get down there, knowing the fact that that's pretty much like the bottom fish, area in the ocean, that will be just an amazing price point for you to get in for Cardano. Knowing the fact that we've tested the bottom like basically 6 times historically, and that's a pretty hard wall to crack, right? And if we break that $1 level, the next level is going to be a steep fall all the way back down to the 43 cents, 45 cents level, which the likelihood is going to be pretty low, I would say, in comparisons, because that will require you to break through 12 walls on top of all the walls that we talked about, right? The fair, attractive, and the steal level walls, right? And then on top of that, these walls all have consolidated walls, which subsequently built a lot of market pressure upward, to push the price upward, right, from there. So the lower you get, the more pressure you're gonna push up, right? It's like as you go deeper into the ocean, the more pressurized you get. Once you get to this like submario level, that just doesn't make sense for you to keep going further down with that much amount of pressure, right? And with respect to how the trend is going forward, I think by year end 2021, $2 would make sense to me. That's more like the midpoint of the pump that we saw a couple of weeks ago. Right? Whatever takes that fast for us to pump up, it's gonna take about 2 to 3 times longer in time durations for you to get back up there, right? In just a more of a logical, natural perspective, right? But I could be totally wrong, but based on how logics and how human psychology is projecting in the chart so far, I think $2 by year end 2021, that makes sense to me. And if you're buying at the $1.45 level right now, again, right, don't buy in all at the moment. You could continue dollar cost average. That could give you like about close to 40% of a gains upward from here, or about 1.5 times your money from here, which is decent. But long term wise, Cardano I think is going to be one of those cryptocurrencies that's going to slowly get adopted, right? But it's going to take time. Obviously, utilizations for in the financial sector, obviously for exchange of monetary value, is going to take time, right? There's a lot of financial institutions around the world. On top of that, with the collaboration with the governmental entities around the world as well, it's going to have a lot of pushback, a lot of time for the metamorphosis around that ecosystem, right? So we just gotta be patient. But long term wise, on a macroeconomic perspective, I am bullish on this, and I am bullish on this based on the technical analysis and the fundamental of this asset as a whole as well. Right, so that's it for today with respect to Cardano, ticker ADA, on the technical analysis and some of my insights and research that I've done so far. Really appreciate you guys for dropping by again, and again, happy weekends. Hopefully you guys are spending good time with your family and your friends and your loved ones. Please hit the like button, the subscribe button, also that bell notification. Again, I really want to just take this time to thank everybody for the support and the kindness and the great words that you guys are providing for me. It really propels me, it motivates me on a day-to-day basis to do well and to be better for you guys, and also give you that guidance and the support that you guys need as investors, to ultimately get that financial freedom and success that we're all striving for. So really appreciate it. Really happy to see how it's growing and the community that we're slowly building together. So stay tuned for the next video. Thank you so much. Take care.